Is it a bar? Is it a coin? Or is it a round? Today, we'll find out. Welcome back to the channel, gang. Silver Sushi here. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. I just post content to educate newcomers to the community, as well as to make sure that none of you new guys get ripped off or make any mistakes that are going to be very costly down the track, as well as just to entertain some of the older stackers in the community and posting content like unboxings and such. So yeah, if you're into that stuff, hit that subscribe button. So getting back into this, today we are clearing up one of the most common questions new stackers have. What is the difference between coins, bars, and rounds? Because they might look pretty similar at first glance, but there's actually a big difference between them, and especially when it comes to things like legal tender status, premiums, and how easy they are to sell. Let's just start off with coins. So this is the Australian Kangaroo coin produced by the Perth Mint. The reason this is considered as a coin is because it is 100% backed by the government, and it has a $1 denomination right there. So you can, in fact, take that to the bank and they will happily swap it over for $1. But if you're going to do that, you may as well send them my way and I will give you $10 for this. That was the Australian Kangaroo. This is the Canadian Maple Leaf. It's made in Canada by the Canadian Mint, the Royal Canadian Mint, and it's pretty much the same thing. Has a $5 denomination, has a face value, and has a monarch on the back. Oh, yeah, on the obverse. And this is what the reverse looks like. It is a very, very nice looking coin. This is an older one, which is why you can see the milk spotting there. That just happens because some chemicals sometimes get onto a coin while they're being minted and they start sort of showing up years, sometimes even months after being made. Please keep in mind, guys, that the denomination or the face value will be much lower than what the coin is actually worth, because yes, this says $1 on it, but if I put this thing online, I won't be selling it for less than 85, $90. So just keep that in mind. Because these coins are government backed, they're considered legal tender in their issuing country. And that also adds a layer of authenticity and recognizability. So if I take this coin to pretty much anywhere in the stacking community in Australia, everyone's going to know exactly what they're looking at, as opposed to, say, if I bought a round that someone poured in their backyard with, their own stamping, but let's say this one here, like this is a beautiful, beautiful bar, but if this was in the shape of, say, a coin or something, a round, and I took it to someone, firstly, they'd try and see if they've seen that logo or somewhere, anything before, anything recognizable. Obviously, what is this one? I actually have no idea what this mint is or who made this, but clearly I would, if someone was offering it to me, I would take a 5-ounce, one of these Perth Mint bars. I know this is a 10, before I'd take this one, because I recognize that. I recognize the logo. I know what Perth Mint is, and I know that it's going to be legit. And that's why coins usually have a slightly higher premium, because they have that recognizability and that safety sort of factor already built into the coin. This one might not have it, but some of the new ones, some of the new Canadian Maple Leaves, they've got a little small, little privy mark almost there, and that itself is a security feature, because someone can fake this coin, but you will be very hard pressed to try and copy that little micro information that they have put in there. Now, because I picked this one up earlier, let's start with this one. So in terms of what a bar is the simplest form of bullion. Just stamped piece of metal showing its weight, 5 troy ounce, its purity, 999, and who made it. So, man, this person's going to be so ashamed that I don't know who this is, because I know I've seen these bars and other forms from the same mint selling on that Facebook page so many times. I'm so sorry. Bars come in all different shapes and sizes. Like this one here, this is the Angle Hard 5-ounce bar. It's, like I said, you'll see who made it, its purity, and how much it weighs. Ooh, let's focus for a second. There you go. Let's get this out. So there you go for a better look. Your bars are going to be way cheaper than something like a coin because it's just melted silver being poured into a mold and being stamped. There's no real machinery required aside from pouring it in somewhere and waiting for it to cool down. Like these Perth Mint 10-ounce bars, they are the same. Even like this might be the most expensive 10-ounce bar that I own, not because, you know, there's something special about it. It's because it's by the Perth Mint. And that's another thing. When you're buying things like bars, you got to make sure that they're from a reliable and recognizable brand. Of course, you can always use a Sigma or an XRF machine to test it for its purity, but something like this, if I just bought this off, say, from Marketplace or something like that, I know that no one's sitting in their backyard pouring something like this and has a Perth Mint stamp. Like, there'd be too many things wrong with it. I'd weigh it, of course. It has to be 10 ounces or somewhere in the vicinity of that. But yeah, that's just another security feature. But here's the cool thing about bars though, guys. Bars can, interestingly enough, technically also be coins. So this is in the shape of a bar, but if we turn this around, it's got the purity, it's got a monarch on it, and it's got the $1 denomination. So this, in fact, is actually a coin. For anyone actually starting out, I would just recommend getting bars because they're the cheapest way for you to get some weight onto your stack, and then you can move on to collect the things like this great white shark here from the Royal Australian Mint. You can see it's got that $1 denomination face value. Like 5 of these would be worth a hell of a lot more than, say, one of these John Wick bars. And finally, onto rounds. I'll put up some pictures of a bunch of, like, say, buffalo rounds because they're the most popular. These are privately minted bullion pieces. Basically, they look like coins because they're round, but they're not legal tender. They're valued purely for the metal content, not face value. Well, there is no face value, and they're not backed by any government, just silver or gold weight and its purity. There is an upside to buying rounds though. They tend to have lower premiums compared to coins, which makes them great if you are stacking for weight. So you can either buy bars or you can buy rounds if you want to get the most bang for your buck. Some private mints like Scottsdale or Sunshine Mints, they make beautiful buffalo rounds. Alright guys, so to sum it all up, coins are government-backed, legal tender, slightly higher premiums, but highly recognizable, which also adds that authenticity factor into it. Rounds are privately minted, they don't have a face value, and they are generally a little bit lower premiums, and they are great for stacking. And when it comes to bars, bars are the best value that you can get per ounce, simplest form of bullion, and they are available in many different sizes to cater every budget. At the end of the day, guys, there is no right or wrong choices here. If you're into your stacking for just purely for weight and best bang for your buck, you've got the bars. If you're more into, you know, collecting global and big minted items such as the Perth Mint or the Canadian Mint here, you can't really go wrong. So take your pick. Hopefully that clears up the difference between coins, bars, and rounds for you guys. If there's any questions or anything else you'd like to ask me, please just comment it down. I do try and reply to almost every comment. And yeah, I'll see what I can do for you. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button. See you guys in the next video.